I was just going down to the Flinders Street food van. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some food over here, my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first came up to you, did you think I was going to give you a hard time? Or what did you think? This bloke in a suit comes up. Good evening, Australia. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Kuzilny. This is Tough Times Never Last. You know, this show's been going on for quite a few years, and quite often people ring up and say, hey, I didn't suicide tonight because of the guest I saw on your show, Michael. He inspired me, because there's so many people suffering these days. I don't know what's happened to Western society. It's all about take, you know. People... so many people are, anxious. So many people are depressed. There's now more than 300 million people diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and there's now over 400 mental health conditions. What are we doing to this world? Whatever happened to simplicity and kindness? You rarely see people smiling these days. I was walking the streets of Melbourne just before, and I came across Ian Wade, a decent fellow who's been homeless for over 7 years. Ian, thanks for coming in at such short notice. Yeah. But, people always think that everybody is happy because everybody has the masks on. Everybody pretends to be happy, but you see it firsthand. There's a lot of people suffering, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Tell me about your life. You've been on the streets for 7 years?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, on and off.
Can you speak up? My hearing's not the best these days.
Yeah.
Ian, how long?
It's 7 years on and off.
Yeah.
It's been hard. I mean, there have been pretty difficult times, and I've seen people go through difficult times because of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you seen people die on the street?
Yeah.
Or abused or kicked?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all sorts of crazy situations, if you will, that I've seen on the streets, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know myself, I moved into a rooming house for one day, and the next day I was in hospital with my face as blue as your suit is, because a cast iron frying pan put across my face in my sleep. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Amazing. Who would do that? Just someone you took their bed or something? Or?
No, it was just someone in the house at the time. It was crazy. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And I suppose you'd meet a lot of crazy and angry people in the street.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Tell me some of the places where you've slept.
All over the place. I mean, yeah, from the back of tin sheds to toilet blocks, anywhere really that you can swat and find some form of safety. Yeah.
Amazing. So it'd be difficult on Friday and Saturday nights when everybody's out and about and drunks coming home.
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
Have you ever been beaten up or?
In the streets?
Yeah.
No. More so it's in the houses when I'm asleep, I find it happens to me. But yeah, I have known people that do get beat up, homeless in the streets.
But you're a gentle giant. When I saw you down the street, I thought, who's this tough fella? But I sensed your energy. You've got a very warm and kind energy, David. And I sense that, there's a connection there. And you've seen the show before, haven't you?
Yeah, I had.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people suffering, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
David, you're growing up, just fast-paced that. Where did you grow up and why do people become homeless? Normal growing up, normal schooling or...? I pretty much went through to year 12 in education and that. It's just whereabouts?
Some things all over Australia.
Oh, Dad was in the army, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I've pretty much moved all over Australia.
Yeah.
And lived everywhere and been educated right through to year 12.
Yeah.
It's just some things fell apart.
Tell me about those things, because I like your authenticity, and I know a lot of people wear their social masks, don't they, folks? Everything's fine and everything's great, but a lot of people suffer. We've all got problems, and I've been one of the problems. We've all got problems, but we're too scared to share them. Share your problems, David Wade. Was there a drug issue? Be honest with me, bro.
Yeah, I'd say there was, yeah.
What sort of drugs? Have you tried them all? There's so many drugs out there now, Dave, Ian, from cannabis to ice to heroin to cocaine. What did you experiment with?
Pretty much everything except for downers.
Downers?
Yeah.
Don't like downers.
No.
Like
no.
uppers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You which was your sort of favourite one? Which where you actually had a good time on it?
There's a fair few different ones.
Speed? Were you?
Yeah.
Amphetamines?
Yeah.
The ice epidemic is crazy. Did you get stuck on the ice?
No, I think it's sort of blown out of proportion, really. Like the way it's portrayed in the media. Like it really, it gets a bad rep more than anything else.
Yeah.
There are worse things than it, but apparently that's number one.
There are worse drugs, are there?
Yeah, like the juice, like you get put on a sex offenders list now if you're caught with it.
With what?
With juice, GHB.
Oh.
So if you get caught with over 2 ml of that drug, you're put on the sex offenders list now for life.
Right.
And so, it's just, they blow things way out of proportion.
Yeah, the media do, don't they?
Yeah.
And David, when you finished year 12, it's such a competitive thing, isn't it? There's so much pressure on people to perform and got to be the best and all this sort of garbage. What went through your mind? What did you want to do?
I wanted to do pastry cooking when I first left school. Yeah.
Did you end up doing that?
Yeah, for a number of years. The problem, though, was that I had to keep moving from state to state with my father.
Of course.
Which puts you back to first-year apprentice.
Oh, which is shit pay and shit hours. Yeah. And mum and dad together?
Yeah.
Yeah. You say you're homeless, but do you sometimes go home for a breakfast or for dinner?
No, not at all.
No, the relationship?
No.
Not there?
No.
What happened there?
Just some difference of opinions and views, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just sort of parted ways.
Yeah, you can't make peace. You don't want to make peace with them.
No, it's not that. It's just we see things differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just basically said, "I love you" from a distance.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's let them do their own thing.
Okay.
Rather than constantly
being in battle.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a short break. I want to really see how you got through those tough times living on the street. But thanks for coming on. And viewers, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back very shortly. Ian, wait on the couch. What I like about Ian is a straight shooter, straight down the line, authentic, doesn't sugarcoat things, says it the way it is. Did his year 12, normal growing up. Dad was a military man, but there was a turning point, living on the streets for 7 years, a lot of hard times, and drug use. And, I'm not surprised living in the street in, behind sheds and, little bushes and, it's a sad situation, isn't it? And then people walk past and look down on you, and I'd be on drugs myself. I think if I lived that life, you'd want stuff to escape. You'd even think about suicide, wouldn't you? Sometimes. Have you thought about that?
I did when I was younger, but then I thought there's no real point to it anymore. Like you could allow yourself to be dragged down by that.
Yeah, by that
thought for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And constantly be thinking on it, or you could just allow yourself to move on, because fate could have a much crueler end for you in store than just a suicide.
I can tell, Ian, you've had a lot of time to reflect on life.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of wisdom inside you, A lot of wisdom. I wonder, how people always think, how can people be homeless when the Australian government always pays people to live in places, and the dole, unemployment, that sort of thing?
Well, that's just it. The only thing is, at the moment, I've been trying to get housing since Christmas.
Yeah.
And all the public housing agencies have either got their lists closed or just have no rooms available. So
is the problem that bad?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Ian, as a result of living in the street, do you get the councils and the coppers driving past pushing you along?
Yeah, I've had that at a few places, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's only because really when you get rowdy or you've just chosen really the wrong spot to camp in, like that they will come along and try and move you along. I do remember once trying to camp out at a place in Ringwood and we just got too rowdy. Like we would just have partying every day and it was no good for the council, you know. Like the locals constantly calling them up saying, look, we need you to move these kids on. They're sitting down by Ringwood Lake just drinking every day. It's no good.
And isn't it funny, Ian speaks about his difficult times, but I see him smiling and there was a bit of joy during those difficult times too. And it's quite true, isn't it, folks? When we think about our difficult times, you know, some people go through a week of tough times, sometimes people through 5 years of difficult times. Some people who might have cancer or something, or paraplegics might be even longer. But even through those dark days, there's still moments of joy, isn't there, where we have a bit of a laugh. And if you are going through a difficult time, there's sometimes nothing to fix. Just go through it. I really believe life comes with ebbs and flows. Sometimes we're stuck in the ebb and, you know, everything's falling apart and we think, God, you know, I can't stand waking up. In other times, things just flow. Great things happen. You meet wonderful people, money flows in, beautiful people come into your life. And sometimes I think, you know, when we try to force things, we do get into that ebb stage. But sometimes we just need to surrender and realise we're not in charge. We're not in charge of even the day we're going to die. We have to remember one day will come when it's our last day on the planet and death will come and wipe us out, you know. I always look at graveyards and think, well, it won't be long until it's all over. So if we think we're going to die one day, then we learn to appreciate each day a lot better, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think about death sometimes? How it's a short journey?
Oh, sometimes, but not in a negative way.
No.
As such, like you could look at it as a real down sort of way, but you know, I choose to look at it in a much more light sort of way. Like, you know, we've got to move on sometime.
We've got to move on. And a lot of people are sort of at home on their Facebook and internet and socialising with all these people, you know. There's not much human contact anymore. I saw you walk. It's a nice night outside tonight. I saw you walking in the streets. Where were you going to?
I was just going down to the Flinders Street food van. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some food over here, my brother.
Yeah.
When I first came up to you, did you think I was going to give you a hard time, or what did you think? This bloke in a suit comes up.
No, that's it. Like I just recognised you straight away.
Oh, you did?
The law show that you do. So.
Oh, that's nice that you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ian, you must really own yourself because you spend a lot of time on your own, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not on your phone greeting everybody or Facebook. In fact, you probably haven't even got a computer or a phone, have you?
No. No. Really, no point to it when you're on the street.
No. How do you keep in touch with your friends?
I go and visit them.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you got a car?
No, don't have a car at all.
You know, it's really a beautiful time in your life. You've got nothing, have you?
No.
No. I said before, Ian, come up and do the show. I said, he said, oh, yeah, I'm homeless, Michael. He said, I just got, booted out of a place. I said, where's your stuff? Where's your suitcase, your little bag? He goes, I haven't got anything. No phone, no car. Amazing simplicity. And from that point, we can really grow. You know, I remember many years ago, I was on the Gold Coast. I was studying, went back as a mature age student, and I had about $27 in the bank. And it was an amazing feeling. First I felt, gee, being a student at this age is pretty crappy, and $27, and I went to the bottle shop, got myself a drink, and went to McDonald's, and I was just walking along the beach, and I just felt this simplicity, you know. I knew that it wasn't going to last forever. And I suppose it's good to sort of hit rock bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it can only go up.
Yeah, that's right.
And they say the less things you have, the less things you got to worry about.
That's it, yeah.
You know, how many stressed out tycoons do you get with 30 investment properties, 100 staff, and they're always worried about everything, you know?
That's it, yeah.
So in a way, simplicity is good, and you can build from here, can't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
What would you like to do? Because how old are you now, Ian?
30 now.
Yeah. What would you like to do? How can I help you?
With my life now.
We might talk about your goals after the next break.
Yeah. Cool.
We'll talk about Ian's goals after the next break, but we'll certainly do our very best to encourage him and put him in the right direction. Back shortly. Thank you very much for joining us. You know, sometimes we look in the papers and we watch TV and we think everybody's having a wonderful time, everything's great, and we think we're the only one going through our issues. But, you know, we've got to remember that millions of people are going through issues. In fact, every human being is going through issues now, and 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, it's just part of the human process. In fact, if we all got together and threw our problems into the centre of the circle and you saw what everybody else was going through, you'd probably take your problem and run away, but sometimes we just don't realise it. You know, we see the weekends, couples smiling, little babies here, everyone's invited to parties, and we think, wow, you know, I'm going through a difficult time, but lots of people are going through difficult times. So the message is just to show a bit more loving kindness and smile at people, and, you know, turn that spotlight away from you and turn it on the other person. Ian, living on the street, drinking, maybe drugs, have you been in trouble with the police?
Surprisingly, no, not too much. It's good.
Good.
I mean, I've got something coming up, as I said before, which is kind of...
Yeah, that's a bullshit sort of a charge, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
You know, sitting in the car.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Attempted theft of motor car.
Yeah, attempted theft of an automobile, which is on a friend's property and is their property.
And you were sleeping in it?
No, I was leaving the property. A neighbour happened to call the police and say, oh, listen, someone's around the back of our property trying to steal this car. And I was walking out of the property at the time, and because I've tried to explain myself to the police, they've just not listened to the story at all. They've just thrown me back into the divvy van. I just kept on saying no comment. Any question I was asked, when I got back to the station, they didn't like that, so they've chosen to take it further, and without doing any real investigation themselves, they've proceeded to try and charge me with the attempted auto theft of an automobile which belongs to my friend and is on his property at the time.
And what were you doing there, in a nutshell?
I was just visiting a friend, and I was leaving the property at the time.
Oh.
And they've taken this to court.
But did you start the car or something? Or?
No, didn't even try to start the car. It's an RV, and what they found inside the RV was a screwdriver, and they found a screwdriver on me. So they said, "Oh, well, that's what you've used to try and start this car." And it was just
He's still your mate, this guy?
Yeah. I'm still friends with him and that. I mean, he knows. Like, I went back to him that night after the police released me.
He would have to make a statement of complaint saying that, he's the victim, isn't he?
No, apparently not. The police have just driven it into court and just said, no, we want this person charged with the attempted theft of this automobile.
Yeah. Well, you've got a good story there. I think, common sense will prevail there. Ian, have there been many court appearances?
Not many, no.
No.
I've had, I think, one for shoplifting, another one for possession of ecstasy charge,
Yeah.
and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's not bad, is it? You can tell that Ian Wade is a decent fella. You know, decent fella. There's a lot of people homeless who then do burgs. You know, they do a string of burgs. They get $200 there, $5,000 there, $7,000 there, and they think this is great. You know, they stay in hotel rooms and get more drugs, and then they're back on the street. But you know, he's not a dishonest homeless person, which is true. You know, there's an old saying: "I can't hear what you're saying. What you are speak so loudly." You're a good bloke, David. I mean, Ian. How would I think of you, David, all the time, Ian? Yeah, you remind me of a David. Ian, you are a straight shooter, and I think your dad, even though you're not talking to him, who's the staff sergeant there. What's his name?
Barry.
Barry.
Yeah.
Was he a tough bloke?
No, he's a reasonable man. He's a good man. He's won the Order of Australia twice. Yeah.
Why can't you make peace?
As I said, it's more so just a different of opinions.
What about three of us
views.
go out to Topolino's in St Kilda, have a bourbon and coke and seafood platter? Let's have a chat.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him in a long time myself.
Be nice though. Why don't we be the peacemakers?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Have a seafood platter there. Cross the road from the Gatwick. You know?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
You know it well?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The Gatwick in St Kilda, it's amazing. Last 25 years, it's had homeless people there. And I remember it was when I was a young policeman in St Kilda. A lot of people passed away. I went there one time in the 80s, and you know, kicked down a door. A very bad smell came from room 4, and the undertakers came, and we lifted the body, and the body exploded everywhere. And you always remember things like that. But anyway, one of my favourite places to go to was Topolino's across the road from the Gatwick. I was sneak in there and have my special Coke, my bourbon and Coke, whilst working on the police force. It's amazing, isn't it? Back in those days, that was before your time.
Oh well, before
your time, before you were born. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever stay at the Gatwick? Is that like a place you can stay?
The Gatwick is. I've never stayed there personally though.
But there's places where you can stay.
Yeah, there are definitely.
So tonight, where will you stay tonight?
Maybe the Crest on Barclay.
Oh, good.
They're pretty good there.
How much? $20?
About, I think, 80.
$80?
Yeah. It's kind of expensive staying around. Yeah.
Ian, are you happy?
In life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I am.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you go through depression and anxiety and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I have, yeah. And
Everyone has, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Like, you have to go through these things to learn.
Yeah.
Sort of what's really important and valuable in life. And if you don't, then you miss out on it. As such,
that's the contrast, isn't it? He said we've got to have contrast. Yeah. What else have you learned along the journey? What take-home lessons?
Just remember that if anything sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your advice to people who are maybe not just homeless, but they're really, really lonely, and they're not interested in being on the planet anymore. They want to have an early departure. They want to end it all. You know, there's a lot of people who want to suicide. What's your message there?
I'd say keep going, keep pushing through life. There's a lot worse, and it can get a lot worse before it gets better. So you just got to keep on pushing and just try to keep on living, because there's not much that can really go that bad, that.
Well, you're certainly powering it through it all. Thanks very much, Ian, for spending time. You're a good man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got somewhere to stay tonight.
Yeah, I am too now. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we'll catch up down the track, and we'll make sure you get a job and everything. We'll follow your progress and have you back in about 6 months.
All right,
And
cool.
love and best wishes, folks. If you're going through a difficult time, just go through it, put a smile on your face, and maybe try to have a positive attitude through the tough times. I'm Michael Kuzilny. Thank you very much for all our volunteers, our producers, and our beautiful audience. Love and best wishes, and good night.